After the Israelites left, Pharaoh changed his mind. He said, "What have we done? We have let Israel go and lost their service." So he readied his chariots, 600 of the best, and all the rest of Egypt's army. With horses and soldiers, he pursued the children of Israel. The Israelites camped by the sea, near Pi-hahireth, opposite Baal-zephon. When they looked up and saw Pharaoh's army approaching, they were terrified. They cried out to Moses, "Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to die in the wilderness?" Moses answered, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm. You will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Then the angel of God, who had been traveling in front of Israel's army, moved behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved from in front and stood behind, coming between the armies of Egypt and Israel. Throughout the night, the cloud brought darkness to one side and light to the other. So neither army went near the other all night long. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind. The waters parted, and dry ground appeared in the middle. The Israelites went through the sea on dry land, with walls of water on their right and on their left. Pharaoh's chariots pursued them into the sea, but the Lord threw them into confusion. After the Lord brought Israel through the Red Sea, Moses led them into the wilderness of Shur. For 3 days they traveled without finding water. At last they came to Marah. There was water there, but when they tasted it, it was bitter and undrinkable. So the people grumbled against Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. Moses threw it into the water, and the water became sweet. There the Lord made a decree and tested them. He said, "If you listen carefully to the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his eyes, I will not bring on you any of the diseases I brought on the Egyptians. For I am the Lord who heals you." After leaving Elim, the whole community of Israel set out and came to the desert of Sin, between Elim and Sinai. It was the 15th day of the 2nd month since they had come out of Egypt. But soon the people grew hungry. There was no food in the barren wilderness. And they grumbled against Moses and Aaron. "If only the Lord had killed us in Egypt," they said. "There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us into this desert to starve." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will rain down bread from heaven for you. Each day the people are to gather enough for that day. In this way, I will test them to see if they will follow my instructions. And on the 6th day, they are to gather twice as much, so that the 7th day may be a Sabbath of rest." That evening, quail came and covered the camp, and in the morning, the ground was wet with dew. When the dew was gone, thin flakes like frost appeared on the desert floor. The Israelites were puzzled. They said to each other, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat." Each family gathered as much as they needed, Some gathered more, some less, but no one had too little. Moses warned them, "Do not keep any of it until morning." But some disobeyed. They kept part of it overnight, and it bred worms and stank. Yet every morning, the people gathered fresh manna. It tasted like wafers made with honey. On the 6th day, they gathered double portions, and on the 7th day, the Sabbath, none fell. Still, some went out to gather on the Sabbath, but they found nothing. And the Lord said, "How long will you refuse to keep my commands? The Sabbath is my gift to you. That is why I give you 2 days' work on the 6th. From then on, the people rested on the Sabbath, and the manna came faithfully for 40 years, until they entered the promised land. What part of this story spoke to you the most? God's provision, the Sabbath rest, or the promise of the land? Share your thoughts in the comments below. From the desert of Sin, the Israelites set out and camped at Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. They quarreled with Moses, saying, "Give us water to drink." Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" But the people grumbled all the more. They cried, "Why did you bring us out of Egypt to make us, our children and our livestock, die of thirst?" Moses cried out to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord answered, "Walk ahead of the people. Take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile. Go. Strike the rock at Horeb, and water will come out of it for the people to drink." Moses did so in the sight of the elders, and water gushed from the rock, so the people drank and were satisfied. That place was called Massah, testing, and Meribah, quarreling, because the Israelites tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" At Massah and Meribah, the people doubted, but God showed he was with them. How about you? When did you feel God's presence in the middle of your struggles? Let us know in the comments. And if this story blessed you, hit like, subscribe, and stay with us for more.